What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And I can't even believe I'm saying this right now, Chiefs Kingdom. Brace yourselves. Because the news we've all hoped would never come has officially dropped. Andy Reid, the legendary head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, the man who built this dynasty alongside Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, has just announced his retirement. Yes, you heard that right. Big Red, the mastermind of one of the greatest runs in NFL history, is stepping away from the sidelines. And this shocking news changes everything for the Chiefs, for the league, and for the future of football as we know it. Let's take a moment here. Andy Reid is not just another coach. He's not just a guy who won a few games and made a playoff run or two. He's a generational figure in the NFL. We're talking about a man who took two different franchises, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, to the top of the sport. He's been the architect of modern offenses, a mentor to countless players and assistant coaches, and the steady hand that turned Kansas City into the epicenter of football excellence. For him to announce his retirement right now, after everything he's built, is nothing short of earth-shattering. Now let's talk about what this means for the Chiefs. The first reaction, of course, is shock. Fans are stunned. Players are stunned. Even opponents are stunned. Andy Reid has been such a constant presence on that sideline, with his play sheet in hand, the headset on, and that calm, brilliant demeanor that you almost thought he'd coach forever. But football doesn't work like that. Time catches up with everyone, even the greats. And now, for the first time in years, the Chiefs are staring at an uncertain future without their leader. Think about this. Patrick Mahomes has only ever known the NFL with Andy Reid as his head coach. That relationship has been one of the most dynamic and successful partnerships in sports history. Reid's offensive genius combined with Mahomes' generational talent has produced some of the most jaw-dropping football we've ever seen. Super Bowl wins, MVP seasons, historic comebacks, it all flowed from that connection. Now, with Reid stepping away, Mahomes is going to have to navigate uncharted waters. The question is, who can fill those shoes? Who could possibly replace Andy Reid? And the answer is nobody. At least not directly. You don't replace Andy Reid. You try to move forward, you try to adapt, but you don't replicate what he did. The Chiefs are going to face one of the biggest decisions in franchise history. Do they promote from within, keeping continuity in the system Mahomes and the offense know so well? Or do they swing big and try to bring in another high-profile coach from outside the building? Either way, it's a massive gamble. Because make no mistake, life after Andy Reid will not be easy. Now let's zoom out a bit. Andy Reid's retirement doesn't just shake the Chiefs, it shakes the entire NFL. Every coach, every GM, every player who's faced Kansas City over the last decade knows how difficult Reid made their jobs. He was always one step ahead, always cooking up something new, always adapting. His tree of assistants now spans across the league, and his influence is baked into the way the modern game is played. When we talk about the most impactful coaches in NFL history, guys like Bill Walsh, Bill Belichick, Vince Lombardi, Andy Reid belongs in that conversation. And now, with him stepping away, the league loses one of its greatest minds. But let's bring it back to the emotional side, because that's where fans are feeling this the hardest. Andy Reid wasn't just a coach, he was Big Red. The mustache, the cheeseburger quotes, the warm, fatherly presence. He was beloved in Kansas City, not just for winning, but for being himself. Players have talked for years about how much they respect him, how much they love playing for him. He wasn't a dictator. He wasn't about ego. He was about family, about culture, about building something special. And he did. So why now? Why is Andy Reid retiring at this moment? Well, there are a few factors at play. First, he's 65 years old. Coaching in the NFL is a grind, and Reid has been doing it for decades. The long hours, the pressure, the travel, it takes a toll. Second, he's already accomplished everything. He's got multiple Super Bowl wins, over 200 career victories, a Hall of Fame are some. There's nothing left for him to prove. And third, maybe he just wants to enjoy life. Spend time with his family. Step away while he's still on top. That's something most coaches don't get to do, but Reid has earned it. Now here's the million-dollar question: what happens to the Chiefs' dynasty? This is where things get fascinating. On one hand, you have Patrick Mahomes. As long as Mahomes is healthy and in his prime, the Chiefs are contenders. He's that good. Travis Kelce is still producing at an elite level. The defense has been improving year by year. The pieces are still there. But let's not kid ourselves, Andy Reid was the glue. He was the mastermind. Without him, everything feels a little less certain. If the Chiefs hire the right successor, keep the system intact, and let Mahomes do his thing, they could keep this dynasty rolling. But if they stumble, if the wrong hire is made, if the culture shifts, if the offense loses its edge, suddenly the AFC becomes wide open. Teams like the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, even the Jaguars, they'll all smell blood in the water. That's how big this is. Andy Reid's retirement doesn't just affect Kansas City, it could reshape the entire balance of power in the NFL. Let's also talk about Reid's legacy. He's going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, no question. His offensive innovations, his coaching tree, his wins, his championships, it's all there. But beyond the stats, it's the way he made football fun. Fans loved watching his teams because they were exciting. Mahomes' no-look passes, Kelce's big plays, the creative formations and trick plays, that was all Andy Reid's fingerprint. He gave us moments we'll never forget, and he did it with a smile on his face. And then there's the personal side. Reid went through ups and downs in his life, personal tragedies, heartbreak, tough seasons. But he always persevered. He always kept going. And when he finally got over the hump in Kansas City, when he finally won that Super Bowl, you could see how much it meant to him. It wasn't just about football. It was about a lifetime of work, a lifetime of resilience, finally paying off. That's why fans loved him. That's why players loved him. And that's why this retirement hurts so much. So to wrap this up, Andy Reid has announced his retirement, and the shockwaves are being felt everywhere. Chiefs Kingdom is stunned, the NFL is stunned, and the future is suddenly wide open. But one thing is for sure, Andy Reid's legacy is secure. He leaves the game as one of the greatest to ever do it. And now, it's up to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the next generation of Chiefs to carry that torch forward. This is the end of an era. But it's also the beginning of a new one. And Chiefs fans, as heartbreaking as this news is, the story isn't over. Not by a long shot.